Skarloey's railway was home to many steam engines, who happily pulled trains packed with passengers into the hills. But one of them wasn't a steam engine, and didn't pull many passenger trains at all.
Ugh, just my luck. My first train of the spring and this happens. Never mind, Renius. Doesn't look like you had many passengers, so there should be space on the rest of the train for 'em. What's the problem, Mr. Hugh? A broken spring. Looks like the guard didn't catch it on his morning inspection. Renius, if we could just do a bit of shunting, I can take Agatha back to the yard. I suppose better a delay than run with a broken carriage. I'll make it quick, I promise.
And Rusty did. Rusty was quick thinking and hard working, which made them really useful indeed. The little diesel enjoyed looking after the railway with Mr. Hugh, and was never one to enjoy the spotlight.
I don't understand it. The talk is being led by a doctor, but I thought doctors looked after you when you were sick. What talk is this? This is the first I'm hearing of it. There's going to be some kind of lecture about the history of our old quarry next week, Rusty, in the chapel by the middle station. By a doctor. A doctor? How does talking about a quarry make anyone feel better? Maybe he makes people feel better with his words. Does that make you a doctor too, then, Peter Sam? Sir Andal, he's not a doctor. A driver says he has a doctorate, whatever that means. I think it's some kind of title that makes him sound smart. So this Dr. David is a different kind of doctor. Now we're getting somewhere. Well, that sounds interesting. I'm sure there'll be much to talk about. Quarry lasted a long time, after all.
But, unlike the other engines, Rusty didn't really give it much thought. It might have been better if they had. Rusty was looking forward to helping the workers again. Before they could set off, however, they were caught by the Thing Controller.
Rusty, I'm glad I was able to catch you. Do you know of the lecture that would be taking place next week? About the quarry? Yes, sir, it was all I heard about last night. Yes, anyways, it'll start after the last train has returned, and I've arranged for a special to take some guests and I to the station to attend it. I would like for you to pull it. Me, sir? Well, why me? You've worked really hard with the track gang. You deserve a special train of your own for a change. But, sir, won't it be too heavy? It's only one coach. I should think you'll do fine. It'll do you some good to get away from maintenance for a change. Oh, it's a huge honour, sir. Really it is. You could sound more enthusiastic about it, you know. Everything all right, Rusty? You look troubled. Oh, just deep in thought, Mr. Hugh, that's all. Something bothering you? Oh, no, I'm just trying to work out how a tree like this could have fallen onto the line at such a strange angle. I know the rain last night wasn't pleasant. Never a dull day on this railway, Rusty, you should know that by now.
But Rusty was feeling troubled and decided to talk to Renius about it.
So, the Thing Controller wants you to take the lecture train. Looks like it. Don't know why he's asked me. You've not pulled any passengers for ages, Rusty. And there'll be special guests on the train too. Think of it as a reward for your hard work and your... I'm not really feeling enthusiastic about it, Renius. I don't like having swarms of passengers around me. If it makes you uncomfortable, I could take it for you. I don't mind staying in steam for another train, and I'm sure the Thing Controller won't mind. But he asked me especially. I can't go against his wishes. It wouldn't be right. It's only a shuttle service, really. And besides, you're always putting yourself out for us. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, Mr. Hugh. I was worried about what you'd think. Rusty, I'll always hear what you've got to say. Like Renius said, it's your choice. What would you rather I do? Well, the next day we'll be out planting trees. What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't matter what choice you make, Rusty. Tomorrow still comes.
While some were kind towards Rusty's indecision, it was to the chagrin of others.
I cannot believe Rusty is even having to think about pulling the special train. If it were me, I'd say yes without question. Well, they are a maintenance diesel. Seems to me that wee little fellow would rather look after the line than showboat, eh? Showboat? Rusty doesn't know the meaning of the word. That diesel beavers away up the line day in and day out, always doing something. Weed killing, track mending, tree planting. Our railway would grind to a halt if it wasn't for Rusty and Mr. Hugh. Rusty needs to take that train. They'll only regret it if they don't. Oh, I think you care more about Rusty taking it than they do. But it's a very important lecture, Douglas, and there'll be special guests. If Rusty passes on this opportunity, they'll never forgive themselves. All this babble for a lecture none of you will even be going to. That doesn't matter. Well, you're a silly big engine, so I don't expect you to understand how serious and important it still is. Aye, aye, that's me putting my place.
But, as the other engines would soon discover, it wasn't just reservedness keeping Rusty back from fulfilling the Thing Controller's wishes.
Well, Rusty, have you reached a decision? A decision on what? Oh, not that stupid shuttle train. If you don't want to take it, give it to me. Push off, Duncan. The honour should go to me, really. You know, the engine with a knighthood. Oh, quiet. I am pulling it. Having given it a great deal of thought, there is a very, very good reason as to why. Because it's a special train? That's a very good reason I can think of. Now, patience, Peter Sam. Do you remember many years ago some of you used to take those market trains for the farmers?
The engines did remember, but they couldn't quite understand what this had to do with the here and now.
Now, Sir Handel, do you remember the day you were supposed to take one of those trains and you were unwell? Being lazy, more like. Don't listen to him. It was a crack in my firebox. Honest. Ask Mr. Hugh if you don't believe me. Yes, and if you remember rightly, I covered for you, didn't I, Sir Handel? I've never been open about this before, but,
And Rusty began.
I'm sorry, I know 25 minutes late is not ideal, but we're here now. This is the service we're getting then, is it? Oh, the saloon is really comfortable. Or if my guard allows it, you can ride in Beatrice if you prefer. Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough. I mean, we've had to wait 20 minutes for a diesel. No offence intended. No offence taken, I think. Really, it isn't your fault, but when you've waited for a steam engine and then a diesel turns up instead, you can understand why I might be a bit disappointed, can't you? Oh, well, wouldn't you have been more disappointed if the train didn't turn up at all? Look, Sir Handel couldn't make it because of a cracked firebox, or so he says. Anyway, that doesn't matter. We promise a service no matter what. If you're going to moan over something so trivial, you can spare me the lecture, whatever your name is. Rusty. It's Rusty. Oh, insulting me now, are you? I shall be complaining to your controller. I expected better from this railway. Thank you, Sir Handel. And I've never really liked the idea of pulling passengers since then. Is that silly? Oh, it wasn't your fault, Rusty, and you were right. There could have been no train at all. Pardon me for asking, but why has that made you decide that pulling this train would be a good idea? Because I can't let it stop me from trying again. Where would this railway be if we let our misfortunes define us?
The engines were proud of Rusty, and the little diesel was determined that this time things would be different. At last the day arrived. It was time for Rusty's special. Rusty watched eagerly as the guests made their way to the train. The fat controller and the small controller were looking forward to a pleasant evening.
Oh, I see Robert wasn't able to make it. Her work engagements, apparently. I wish he'd take a break from running that castle every now and then. He's glued to that place, I swear. And as for Lady Hat being elusive Topham, I insisted she come, but Jane, bless her, she didn't want to cramp our style. Well, instead of focusing on those who haven't come, let's celebrate those who have, eh? Yes, good idea. I'm sure Dr. David's got a lovely presentation in store for us.
Rusty was delighted to see the passengers enjoying themselves. And what's more was that none of them thought it was strange that their train was being pulled by a diesel.
You're Rusty, aren't you? I only ever see you pulling trucks. Great work getting to pull a special, youngster. You'll do fine, I'm sure. Oh, thanks, Gordon.
This made Rusty very confident indeed.
Come on, Millicent. They're counting on me. I can't let them down. I can do this. I can do this. Just please give me another chance. Millicent can't be that heavy. Flattered. Rusty, your engine's straining badly. If we carry on any further, it might cause damage. Why now? It's been working fine all day. Come on, Rusty. These guests have a talk to go to. But this was going to be my big moment.
Rusty couldn't finish, for they'd realised it was hopeless.
Thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Peter Sam. The chapel is this way, if you please, everyone. Follow me, don't get lost.
For Rusty, a thank you was not good enough. The little diesel felt very, very defeated. Peter Sam soon brought Rusty back to the wharf, and the following morning, Mr. Hugh managed to get Rusty working again. But Rusty's spirits was low.
So, how was the lecture last night, Mr. Hugh? Simply brilliant, Rusty. Great atmosphere. He's got such a way with words. I'd have liked to have seen what he'd have had to say about the quarry now, but probably best left untouched. Now, if you hurry, you'll get us to the woods by the waterfall in time. What's the point? I let everyone down yesterday. It was going to be my big moment, and it might never come again. I never should have listened to Henry or Peter Sam, and I shouldn't have tried to fix the past either. You didn't let anyone down? Everyone felt sorry for you, Rusty. But no one was cross with you. You spoilt nothing. I'm sorry, Mr. Hugh. I just don't feel like I've got the strength to do any work today. If I can break down with one coach, what good am I? Well, maybe this will cheer you up. You work hard, Rusty, very hard, and well, the Fin Controller and I don't think it's fair that our maintenance is handled by only one diesel. Is that so, Mr. Hugh? What I mean is, I'm building another diesel to help you. Oh, that's nice. Another diesel. Another diesel? Another diesel. Mr. Hugh's building another diesel to help me? I've done this on my own for ages.
Rusty worked hard all day and very quickly forgot all about their mishap yesterday.
I don't need help. I don't need help at all. I can look after the line by myself. Thank you. And besides, it'll be a waste of fuel. Don't know why. I don't know. I don't know sometimes.
Mr. Hugh was delighted and amused. He had helped the little diesel find their drive again, but not in the way he had intended.
No one tells me these things, do they? First the lecture, now this. I'm always the last to know. Why?